Jeremy Etienne Vukler's pole is his first point of the season. Vic Sunset has won the past 2 races. He's going for 3 in a row. Jan Vandermeer and Jose Baragia were factors in last year's title race. Marky Howard and Kim Jong-sung in row 3. Christopher Arthurs and Algernon Bell make up row number 4. And there's Danny Ramone, who has yet to score a point this season, and Peter Kickert in his own car. Dave Smith and Friedrich Maxim Vukler in the Douglas Cliff car. Maya Blog in the Aussie Motorsport car. That's a blue car. And Jose Pablo Mazzacani's had a difficult season in his own car. Gia Van Dyke and Sam Sun, the other Aussie Motorsports car. There's Generic in 17th, and Gara. Tenpicos failed to qualify for the season opener, but he's had 2 second places since then. There's Fernandez on his outside. Madunachev and Rachel Graham far back on the grid. And there is Richard Arthurs, William Anker, McMohan, and Do Nascimento in the Vita car. So Do Nascimento's got a ways to come through this field. Maury right behind him, along with Charlie Jericho in the Rob Lomas car. Zaug in the Zero Force. Karimov in the other Rob Lomas machine. Strokens in the Union Saver Developments car. Fidrik Arneson, the Icelander. Douglas, Mancini, and Kellerup make up the field. Kellerup in the second car for Jose Pablo Mazzacane's team. And there you see the beautiful safety car at the back as we're getting ready to start. And Jeremy Etienne Vukler. See if he's going to be able to get a good start. And there we go. That was a bit long, I thought, for the lights to come out. But anyways, Vukler now has got a pretty good getaway. I don't see any drama yet. Looks like everyone got away cleanly. They're going 3 wide into 1. And Vic Sunset sweeps into the lead. Strip Sunset moves into P1 in that magenta car. Kim Jong-sung, Christopher Arthurs, Ramone has gotten ahead of Bell. Kickert in the orange car, Vukler, Smith, Maya Blog, Van Dyke. There's Mazzacane, Sam Sun, Gara, Tenpicos, Richard Arthurs, Madunachev. There's smoke coming out of somebody. William Anker, Karimov, Stokens. We've got a crash. There's Fidrik Arneson. And Mancini in the Northgate car, and Fernandez didn't even make it past turn 1. Zaug, we got big junk over here. Charlie Jericho, McMohan. That is a lot of cars torn up in the first corner here at Road America. There's Generic in that very interesting looking car. Sorts out us to keep it where it is. We got a couple cars stalled in the grid. Looks like Douglas was another one of them, further back in the field. And let's see if any shenanigans here. And yo! Well, kind of got boxed in on the start. Kellerup, who's starting last on the grid. Well, the safety car's right there to get him a ride back to the pits at least. Madunachev, there's Arthurs. Richard Arthurs just comes piling into turn 1 and just mugs Fernandez. Drives straight into the back of him. And Fernandez, not sure if he thought his car was on fire, but he decided to stop right in the middle of the racing line. And, well, anyways. So Arthurs blowing out smoke. That was the car that had smoke blowing out the back of it. And that's never anything good if it's black smoke like that. And there we go. Finally, he decides to pull it off the course because that back in that car is a barbecue. Bratwurst, perhaps. Oh, McMohan is Charlie Jericho comes flying into turn 1 and just launched the McMohan car up in the air and ran into the back of somebody else. So let's just hope McMohan was swerving all over the place, but at the same time, Jericho just forgot where the brakes were pretty much. Braked way too late and ran over Zaug. So, big pileup in turn 1, and I think that was just the case of, Arneson was probably having trouble with that car, and he must have panicked or something, and Mancini kind of just shoves him out of the way, and Mancini goes through, and he's having a rough weekend as it is. Maya Blog on board with car number 8, the Aussie Motorsport car. Gearbox problems, apparently. Algernon Bell has pulled that car off to the side of the track, so Algernon Bell, who's teammates with Strip Sunset, who is leading the race, pulls it off and runs it into the wall. I assume there was something burning on there because he panicked. And oh, that's a big crash in pit in. Maya Blog coming into pit in. Oh my goodness, Maya Blog just goes flying over one of the tire walls, and I'm not entirely sure what was going on there. But here's Maya Blog coming up into pit in. I'm not sure whether or not Maya Blog was told to stay out or if something broke on that car. Something had to have broken on that car. But Maya Blog just goes flying into that tire barrier, ramps over it, and almost into that post right there, which would have been a much bigger accident had that been the case. So I'm not sure if Maya Blog was told at the very last second to stay out, or if something broke, which I think is the case. But that was a massive hit for Maya Blog into that tire wall. The tire wall didn't give very much either. It's a bit of a worry. Kim Jong-sung had a great qualifying effort, and he's pulled that car off into the sand trap. At least somebody is cognizant enough to actually do that. Vandermeer, on the other hand, is making his way through the field. He's gotten around Bragia. On board with Tenpecoast, Ronald Tenpecoast, who's got 2 second places in a row. He's got a long way to go if he's going to make it to get to the podium again for the 3rd race in succession. But he's having a pretty rough day. As we're on board with William Anker, as Karimov is... What is Karimov doing? Well, we know there's smoke building out the back of out of that car. As Tenpecoast brings it into the pit lane. I wonder if this is a strategy call or if he's got a genuine mechanical failure with this car. Failing to qualify for the first race is never good, but when you back it up with 2 second places... Oh, he had Tenpecoast out of the race. Very unfortunate for him. He had 12 points coming into this race. That was second in the championship, so no points for him today. As we're coming through the carousel now, as Samsung brings the second of the Aussie Motorsport cars into the pit lane. Apparently Samsung noticed that there was something wrong with this car, as we don't see anyone really peeling in for anything good this early in the race. Samsung, as he looked through, yep, Samsung, the other Aussie Motorsport car out of the race, looking at Marky Howard. The usual Rockets to Russia livery, as Marky Howard has apparently run into some problems, and William Anker is in trouble. And we got smoke coming out of the back of that car. And usually in this case, where there's smoke, there is fire. And yep, that looks like a barbecue. I would definitely be pulling that off right now. So William Anker. Some people actually pulling off one. Well, anyways, we're on board with the McKenzie car. Jose Bragi at the wheel, doing the best he can for any of the Canadians that came down to this race. The next race of the championship will be at Mosport in Bowmanville, Ontario, as Bragia brings that car into the pits. So that'll be definitely a home race for that for this car, and they'll be hoping for better there. By that I mean hopefully they'll see if they can't do anything about moving up in the championship. But Bragia into the pits, and yep, that's a retirement. So the McKenzie car out after a promising start. Rachel Graham and Jose Pablo Mazzacane doing battle. Oh, that was pretty aggressive and pretty ambitious coming off turn 14, the end of the course. As Christopher Arthurs has got a fire in the back of that car. You can pull it off the track anytime you want. Or you can just stay on the racing line. That's fine, I suppose. Stokins pulls that car off the track. He hadn't really been having a good weekend, and just the end of what's been a miserable weekend. Jan Vandermeer in the 00 car that James Davies drove has been driving, but Davies was injured after the first race of the season. He's bringing that car into the pit lane. The 00 good call car. So into the pit lane now. So we see that wonderful yellow safety car. All safety cars should be an obnoxious shade of yellow like that. Vandermeer bringing that car in. I see smoke coming out of that car, and that's another retirement, as we got a big crash over here. Christopher Arthurs, Peter Kickert, and I think Gio Van Dyke may have had a piece of that, or either that or... Oh! Dave Smith just came flying in and just piled into that one. Peter Kickert looks like he might have gotten away with most of this one. As Arthurs... Arthurs must have been dropping oil on the track, and Kickert slowed down and just hit him. Nowhere to go there. Gio Van Dyke, I think, just slowed down to make sure he wouldn't get involved. On board with Peter Kickert, gets into the back of the Team Sandinista car. Pieces flying everywhere. And Peter Kickert, lucky he only broke the front wing off that car. That could have been a much, much bigger incident. Thankfully, he didn't jump over the back. But Dave Smith just comes flying in here at pretty much full speed, it looks like. And I'm not sure if he slipped in oil or something, but... No, I don't think he did slip in oil. He just sort of piled in. And wanted to go by at full speed. As Oh, we got Friedrich Maxim Vukler off on the side of the road. And, yep, more mechanical difficulties. This is a very high-speed track, so these Life W12 engines are really being put to their, pushed to their limits. Whatever those limits are. Those limits are very, very limited. Peter Kickert into the pits. Reliability in this series is really just it's just a long fancy word. No one really knows in this series what it means. Peter Kickert, though, looks like he might be the only person in the garage that knows what it means, because I think they're going to bring that car back on track. Are they going to get it off the pit lane? And it's going very slowly coming out of his pit box. But Peter Kickert back in the race, it looks like. I think that's a first for this race. Someone involved in an incident and actually continuing. That very distinctive orange car of Peter Kickert, the Dutchman. He's got that, we got a yellow flag on the track for just a moment. Kickert coming onto the track. He's got a podium in the first race of the season in Argentina. As he got Mazzacane off the track. See what happened here. Gara just came flying in like a maniac and piled right into him. I don't think Gara had the position, but I would like to see a replay. Hey, here we go. Gara in the 47. I think Gara was a little too far back to make that move stick. And just punted poor Mazzacane off the track. As we got Rachel Graham in the other Sandinista car. And both Sandinista cars out of the race. Do Nascimento is having a pretty solid run today, but he is holding up the leaders. He's managing to keep that car. Oh no, he's not managing to keep it going. He's slowing down. What is he doing? No. I wonder. Well, anyways, Mancini has come back from all of his difficulties to be running up at 9th. Peter Kickert is, as you can see at the top, he is about 39 seconds up the road. Mancini into the pits. So you have to see what they're able to do to this Northgate car and maybe get it back into the race, or if this is a scheduled stop or not. Mancini into the pits, and he's out of the race. You saw smoke coming out of that car. Not many scheduled stops here as Do Nascimento just comes flying by. Whoa, Peter Kickert, we got another mechanical difficulty here. Yeah, gearbox problems definitely for the Karamov and the Rob Lomas car. You can see he was stuck in first gear, and that's around Road America. You really don't want to be stuck in first gear due to all the really long straights around here, especially down into turns 5 and into Canada Corner turn 12. Vukler is off. Jeremy Etienne Vukler trying to go moment by moment. He was closing in on Vic Sunset, but he noticed something was wrong with that car, and he pulled it off the track. Vukler suddenly just bailed on that one. There must have been something very, very wrong with that car, because I was expecting him to go for a pass right there. Is Nascimento, see if he's getting in the way. There's Gia Van Dyke. Nascimento, not exactly the cleanest. Gia Van Dyke, not happy with the way he was held up there, as Peter Kickert goes by him as well. Brazilian replaces Pedro Capil in that car. Capil got a 5th place in that car. Now on board the Foxhound Life car. Van Dyke 2 minutes up the road, and Peter Kickert closing in, it looks like. No, actually, he's pulling away from Peter Kickert. There we got a problem on board. That looks like you can hear the engine. It's not picking up many revs because it looks like he is stuck in 5th gear. The Foxhound Life car enters the pits, and this is definitely going to be a retirement. So all the strain on the gearbox is really coming into play as Madunochev retires from the race, as Vic Sunset, Strip Sunset, moment by moment, closing in on a Life GP championship, possibly. 3rd win in a row for the Al Smith Racing Team, car number 17. Absolutely dominant today in that magenta and black car. Very distinctive paint job, and also one of my favorite paint jobs. Danny Ramone gets his first points of the season with a very quiet 2nd place, and Gia Van Dyke in the Great Leap Backward car finishes on the podium as well. Different drivers finish 3rd in every race. Peter Kickert comes home in 4th, and Do Nascimento surprisingly comes home in 5th despite some interesting antics while being lapped. Madunochev came home in 6th place despite that gearbox failure. And here are the full results from that event. The next race of the Life GP series will be in Bowmanville, Ontario at Mosport.